Correct. You are with me, Miriam Angel and Salim Barissa. We want to know where you are listening to us from. It is the second hour of our conversation, and we want to talk about the strike that has been ongoing for 49 days. Thank you so much. Now, we want to take a look at a story that has affected thousands of students, parents, and lecturers across the country. And this is now the recently concluded lecturer strike in Kenya's public universities. This has been ongoing for 49 days. Learning came to a standstill as university staff downed their tools. They demanded better pay and implementation of a collective bargaining agreement that had been delayed for years. Now that the strike has been called off and a deal reached with the government, what does this mean for the future of higher education in Kenya? Joining us today is Professor Hassan Mwakimako. Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
So good to have you here.
Just coming out of a strike.
How do you feel, Prof?
I think it's a very big relief.
Yeah.
At two levels. First, because learning will continue in our universities, and our students will be able to spend quality time with their lecturers and everybody else. And second, that is that the issues that were contentious that led to the strike, at least the government has found a way to address them to the satisfaction of everybody who is involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
So on those 2 points, I think there is an opportunity for us to look at what has happened, where did we go wrong, how can we handle ourselves better the next time, and what are the issues that needs to be addressed and changed for the better of everybody.
Yeah. Let's look into the issues that triggered this the strike, the lecturer strike this time. What are they?
I think this strike was called for because of lack of implementation of collective bargaining agreement. And the reason why, particularly the 2017-2021 collective bargaining agreement, this was agreed upon by both parties, that include the government, the university administrators, IPCUF or something like that, and WASU and KUSU and KUDEIHA. They entered into an agreement which the government was supposed to implement. But in between, some disagreements ensued. And as a result of these agreements, it took very long for the challenges to be resolved. And a lot of actors were involved. Some had very noble ideas to resolve the strike. Others, we can actually say maybe their intention was to ensure that there was a continuity of dissatisfaction between members of the academic staff in the universities and the government and the university administration. I think I followed very closely the debate in Parliament, where WASU had petitioned Parliament, and all the parties were invited to make presentations. And one of the weakest link in this strike, and in many strikes in Kenya, was the Salary Reviews Commission. And I think the Salaries Review Commission was faulted because of the manner in which it handled the disputes between the universities and the staff unions, particularly by giving an advisory that was wrong. Basically, the advisory that SRC gave to government was wrong, and then it was contested by WASU and the other unions. And this matter ended in court. And the court looked at all the factors, all the facts that were presented, and it eventually made a determination, to say that what the university's staff unions were asking was the correct position, and the university staff unions had asked that what was due to their members was 7.9 billion. And unfortunately, SRC gave an opinion contrary to the facts, and that confused everything. And that is what led to this very long delay in the courts, and eventually when the courts made a determination, university, the interpublic, what do they call it? Interpublic Council of Forum, a forum that comprises council chairs and vice chancellors. Even after the court had made some kind of a determination, they were very adamant to implement. And because of that, that very tough position that they took, then the union had no other alternative.
What recommendation did the Salaries and Remuneration Commission make?
Basically, what was due to the unions was calculated at 7.9 billion. It was half of what was agreed upon in the CBA. The cost of the CBA, it was around 18 something billion, and of course now the government was able to provide 9 point something billion, but then in between somebody gave that advice that no, what was remaining was not 7.9 billion, it was 642 million or something like that. And that created a serious point of departure between the unions and the universities, because the universities said, or the Minister of Education said, we have been advised by SRC that the cost of the CBA was not 18 point something billion, it was 7.9 something billion, or 8.3 billion or something like that. But the unions had made serious calculations on what would have been the cost of the CBA, and they agreed that it was 18 point something billion. So you see, this advisory by the Salary Review Commission, it confused everyone except the unions, because the unions were very clear on what was the cost of the CBA, and the unions were ready to fight for that, and that is what took 4 years.
How different, how does this strike differ from past industrial actions by university lecturers?
I don't see any significant difference, because it has always been disagreements over improvement of the terms and conditions of service of people in the universities. It seems like there are unions, but the periods in which negotiations are supposed to happen, they don't happen on time. So for example, if there is a next tranche of negotiations or writing a new CBA, the unions will alert the universities very early on, that this CBA ends at this period, and we need to begin negotiations from this period. And the unions will be very clear that we are sending you a notice that we should start negotiations. And usually it might take even 1 year before the universities reply. And that is one of the serious challenge that happens when universities are supposed to negotiate for improvement of salaries with members of staff. They take very long to respond to queries, and that delay sometimes it is never explained. Why do you take 3 months to reply to a letter? Why do you take 4 months to reply to a letter? Particularly a letter that says it is a season now for us to begin negotiating for a CBA. So and this is what usually causes confusion with these arrears. Because if you do not negotiate a CBA on time, and then you negotiate towards the end of the period, then you have to pay arrears for that period that you are not paying. So sometimes people ask for arrears for like 24 months. 10 months, and for example, for this period now, 2017 to 2021, there will be arrears. So these are the challenges that are there in the education sector, particularly when it comes to addressing staff needs in their remuneration and salaries.
And today we're talking about it's in the papers. There has been an agreement that the government will pay is
3.85, I think.
3.85, which is 50% which is 50% of the 7.9 billion.
In December, right?
31st.
Before 31st of
December,
which means if it rolls over to January,
Yes.
then that is a cause for another strike.
Exactly, because they say
Yes.
that they're supposed to implement this in December, and then
Yeah.
the next tranche is supposed to be paid in July.
In July, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
What happens? And we're hopeful that they will make the payment in December.
Yeah.
Are
Let's
you
hope so.
Are you hopeful that they will make the payment in December and honor the one in July?
Yes. Yeah. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Because even this present strike, what really triggered this present strike was that there was an undertaking by government that it will provide the universities with capitation, which included the money that is being demanded.
Yes.
And I think the agreement was that it was going to be done in this is November, in September.
Yeah.
They were supposed to provide the funds in September, and usually government provides capitation to universities by 10th of September. Then you would know that the government has provided money for item A, B, C, D. Come 9th of September, when the unions realize that the government has not provided the capitation for salaries to address the salary gap, that is when the union issued a notice. So lack of implementation. When agreements are made and one partner does not honor their side of the agreement, then that creates a serious problem.
Okay.
Yeah, Prof, tunakaa hapa sehemu kubwa tuseme wanahabari na wananchi na wazazi wakijua kwamba tatizo tuseme ni sehemu ya serikali, lakini wengi wanajua ni wizara na hivyo ya elimu, lakini kumbe ni uongozi unaosimamia vyuo ndio tatizo, kulingana na maelezo yako kwamba wameandikiwa barua miezi 3 inachukua muda kujibu. Na inakaa mpaka sasa inafika mwaka, halafu sasa notice ya migomo inakuja, na kumbe tatizo linaanzia kwa wenye vyuo kwamba wafanyikazi wameomba muda wa kuzungumza na nyinyi, tuzungumze tupange kwamba tunataka malipo yetu yaende hivi. Hili tatizo kulitatua baina ya wafanyikazi na wasimamizi wa vyuo kabla liende kwenye wizara, kabla liende kwenye serikali. Maana kumbe tatizo liko hapa kwenye
sio hivyo. Unajua wakati viongozi wa vyuo wanapopata hizi taarifa, unajua vyuo ziko katika wizara ya elimu. Kwa hivyo wao hawezi kutoa maamuzi yoyote mpaka waambie wizara ya elimu kwa sisi tumepata makataa haya, wamesema wale wanachama wa union wamesema wanataka tuwe na majadiliano. Kwa hivyo lazima mtupe ruhusa ya jinsi gani tunaweza kujadiliana nao. Na mara nyingi ikienda katika wizara ya elimu pengine itawauliza SRC. Na hapa ndipo kwenye tatizo kubwa. Itauliza SRC waambie hebu tupeni maoni. Unajua kwa sababu ni jukumu la kikatiba la SRC kutoa maoni, kutoa utathmini. Je, hawa walimu tunaweza kujadiliana nao vipi? Lakini sasa SRC mara nyingi inashindwa kuelewa jukumu lake. Kwa sababu wakiambiwa tupatieni maoni, hawatoi maoni, wanatoa kama hivi ndivyo inatakana iwe.
Wanatoa maagizo.
Unaona, lakini huwa wanatakana watoe maoni, waseme ya kuwa kwa kipindi cha muhula huu ikiwa mnataka kujadiliana kuhusiana na masuala ya mishahara, mnaweza kujadiliana kwa kiwango cha 8% mpaka 12 ama 10 mpaka 15 kama hivyo. Lakini sasa SRC hawafanyi hivyo.
Wanasema ni 3%.
Wanasema hawa wapeni hichi. Unaona? Sasa na mara nyingi wakati universities wanapoambia serikali wizara ya elimu ifanye hivi, alafu pengine wizara ya elimu iende kwa SRC, pia SRC wanachukua muda kujibu. Ushaona? Na wanapoleta majibu, wanaleta majibu kama hayo. Sasa haya ni majibu ambayo sio ya kufanyiwa mjadala, kwa sababu unajua CBA they're supposed to be negotiated. Ushaona? CBAs are not supposed to be imposed on unions and membership. No, they're supposed to be negotiated. So when you are going for a negotiation, you provide a framework, what they call the beacons. You don't say it is here. You say it is within this range. And how do you determine the range? You look at the economy, you look at what other workers within the republic have been given, something like that. You know, and the unions were really complaining about the role of SRC in this, because it didn't perform its role as expected and as required by law.
Sasa ikiwa SRC ndio changamoto, na nyinyi ndio, sisemi kwamba SRC si wasomi, mtu asinielewe vibaya. Nyinyi wafanyikazi wote wale ni wasomi, wanaelewa. Wale wanaosimamia vyuo ni wasomi. Ikiwa mmejua changamoto inatokamana na SRC ambayo yuko katikati ya wafanyikazi wa vyuo na serikali ambao ndio waziri, wizara that is, kuna chochote ambacho kwamba kinaweza kikafanywa, japo SRC iko kikatiba, hatuwezi kuihalifu, lakini wao ndio mkwamo. Hakuna mbinu nyingine yoyote ambayo kwamba inaweza ikafanyika ya kuharakisha hivi vitu, watoto wasikae kama hivi ambao kwamba wamekaa?
Unajua, juzi wakati bunge linasikiza unions na wizara ya elimu na fedha, wizara ya fedha na unions walikuwa pale. Na mwenyekiti wa kamati ya bunge alieleza kuwa aliwaambia SRC waje, lakini walichoeleza ni kuwa walisema sisi tayari maoni yetu tushawapatia wizara ya elimu, unaelewa? So walikwepa wao kuja pale.
So they didn't show up.
They didn't show up, and I think it was deliberate. Because if you look at the conversations, almost every presentation was putting blame on SRC, on the role of SRC in this strike. So there is need, I think, for SRC to reconsider the way it performs its advisory role to government agencies, because you know, since it was instituted, I think even members of parliament themselves have complained about SRC.
Everybody is complaining about
it. It says this organization doesn't really know what is its role in all this salary review thing in within the government workers. So there is need, I think, for a proper review of what is the role of SRC in this, considering that it has caused a lot of industrial disharmony wherever it is expected or required to provide an advisory.
Let's look at the 7.9 billion in arrears. What exactly does this figure represent?
7.9 billion in arrears, it represents the increment of salaries to members of staff. It represents a component of pension that members of staff were supposed to pay, you know. So when it comes, when members receive their salaries, they will see that it is money that was not paid to them within this period of 2017, 2020, 21, you know. And so there was the increment, salary increment. But even within that salary increment, monthly salary increment, even with this increment, there will be a component of pension that also has to be deducted from that. So this, we're looking at the 2017-2021 CBA. So we've not got into the 2025. No, the 2025, 2021, 2025 CBA is still being negotiated. And according to this return to work formula, that eventually, after calling off the strike, this one is supposed to be concluded within 30 days. The 2021-2025
negotiations.
The negotiations are supposed to be concluded in within 30 days. Because you know, when the strike notice was issued, it had 3 items. One was the 2017, 2021 CBA, the arrears that the court had already made a determination, and the union was saying this has to be paid immediately, you know. And then there was the 2021,
2020.
There's the 2020, today's when 2024,
2025,
2029 CBA, because this was supposed to be negotiated and concluded.
Na Miriam anauliza kuna ya 2021 na 2025 hapo hakuna.
Yes, there was a 2021 and 2025 which was paid 50% by government. So there is another 50% which is remaining.
You have
which is 3 point something billion.
You have 100% ya 2017 2021 yenye ndo inataka kulipwa.
It will be paid 50%.
And then 2021 to 2025 imelipwa 50%.
We paid 50%. There's another 50% which hasn't been paid.
Saizi mnaanza negotiation.
And then there's a negotiation for
2025
2029. Yeah, which is supposed to be concluded by within 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just I was just looking at that.
Yeah.
I was getting the facts.
Yeah.
So among the core issues, one of them was non-payment of arrears owed under earlier collective bargaining agreement,
yes.
which is 2017 and 2021 CBA.
Yeah.
That's what we've mentioned.
Yeah.
That's a 7.9 billion.
Yeah.
And then also the unions demanded that the government both pay the arrears and commence negotiations for the next CBA.
Yes.
That is now the 2025-2029 promptly.
Yes. Yeah.
So this has not yet
been concluded.
Yes.
But according to the latest agreement, is that it will be concluded within 30 days. Yeah, that is a return to work formula that we have now. That's going to be concluded within 30 days. So within those 30 days, if it is concluded, it is registered and registered with court, signed and registered with court.
Yes.
Then it will tell us now how much more money arrears that we're supposed to get.
Yes.
Because it was supposed to be to be concluded by July. Yeah, by July.
Okay.
So if it is concluded in December, then we have 6 months arrear again.
Yes.
According to the figures that they would have agreed.
Yes.
So you see the way that this can create a cycle of
will.
conflicts and strikes if the issues are not resolved conclusively.
Yeah. Do you think that the union got a fair deal? Because there was an ask for 80% upfront pay. Like pay 80% first and then finish up with the 20%. But then we are reaching at a 50-50 deal. Do you feel like the union got a fair deal?
When you enter into a negotiation, you need to be able to give and take.
Okay.
When you negotiate with somebody, you do not put very strict positions, and if you are unable to be flexible.
Yes.
So I think the government initially, the initial offer was to pay 7.9 billion in 3 tranches. And these 3 tranches were supposed to be in 3 years, 3 financial years.
Yes. Yes.
So that was the initial offer by government, which the union rejected totally. The second offer by government was this one of 50%. Yeah. And also this 50-50 was supposed to be paid in July of next year and the July of the other
financial year. Yes.
So with this 50% that the government was able now to say, okay, we can move our goalposts to accommodate your demands, and it says that also we'll pay 50% with a supplementary budget, which of course is maybe it's coming the next 2 weeks or so, and then the ministry would be able to make funds available to pay the 50%, and the other 50% they agreed that it will be done in July of 2026. So for me, I think this is a fair deal.
Okay,
it's a fair deal for the universities. And because you do not negotiate with very strict positions, otherwise you will not be able to. You stand to lose a lot. And one of the things that I think the unions have gained is that they have gained a strong moral ground, with Parliament and with Kenyans, because the union was able to show Kenyans, to show Parliament what the challenges are. And I think the Parliament was very, I think it understood the pain of the staff in our universities, and was able to guide these negotiations to where we have reached now. I also think that the Ministry of Education this time around, I think it did very well. Yeah, it did very well in terms of how to handle staff in the universities. I think the minister, I think of all the other ministers that I've seen negotiating with members of staff, I think this minister was very forthright this time around. He tried very well together with the PS. They tried very well to understand the issues, and whenever he was going into negotiations, he always created the room for give and take. He always created the room that we can listen and we can understand. We can understand one another, and then we can come to an agreement. Unlike other ministers of education who sometimes were very, very dismissive and were unable to create a conducive atmosphere to negotiate. Yeah. Also, the council, the forum that brings in the councils. Yeah. I think also this time around they were a little bit very tough, sometimes very dismissive, but eventually they were able to see that the staff have a point, and of course again the unions were very, very professional, I should say.
Yes.
In terms of issuing the strike notice, in terms of the issues that they were raising, they were not trivial issues, and I think the Secretary General this time, he tried very well to articulate the position of the union in terms of the need of the staff.
Yeah.
And he was not mincing words. He was saying very clearly that this is what we are demanding from government, and it's because of ABCD. It's because we have calculated the cost of the CBA professionally, and this is the figure that we have to agree on.
Yeah.
Because where now it required a verification. A verification between the Treasury, the Ministry of Education, and SRC, and the IPCCUF something, They had to go to a verification to know exactly what is the value of the CBA.
Yeah.
And the unions were vindicated, because their calculations were spot on. They were the correct ones.
If we're looking at learning,
Yeah.
I know the strike caused major disruptions. How bad were academic calendars affected, and how do we recover?
It's time lost,
Yeah.
because 7 weeks is almost half the semester. But I think universities should be able to recover the time lost, because you just need to find 7 weeks or even 4 weeks of an extended semester, and you can always find this by pushing the dates somehow, because ideally lessons were supposed to end around mid-December, around mid-December, and then people go for holidays, and then they'll come back and continue for a couple of weeks. So now the lessons will begin. Maybe we'll cover another 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and then we need to look for another 7 weeks from January. Yeah, and it's possible to get 7 weeks from January for the academic calendar to run smoothly. And then, of course, the second semester then will extend also beyond June, July, maybe, for some universities.
Yeah.
And June, July usually is the period where university staff go on annual leave, because there's an extended summer break of about 3 months. So within that period, we can always extend the semester. So there is room to recover the academic year. It's not entirely lost.
Yeah. Okay.
Mimi kwenye hii mifumo ya ulipaji, kwa sababu kitu ambacho kinatufanya tunaingia kwenye hii migomo ya mara kwa mara. Because ukianza umesema kwamba ikiwa kabla ya tarehe 31 upande wa serikali hautatekeleza, kuna dalili ya mgomo.
Sio dalili,
kutakuwa na mgomo.
Sio dalili, kwa sababu
makubaliano hayatakuwa yametekelezwa.
Hiyo hayakutekelezwa.
Sasa tuseme hiyo imetekelezwa, lakini kuna 50% ya 21 mpaka 25 ambayo hii hatujui mnaipelekaje.
Pia kutakuwa na makubaliano. Si unajua kutakuwa na makubaliano.
Yes.
Ya ngapi 21 mpaka 25?
Umesema kuna 50% ya 21 mpaka 25.
Washakubaliana.
50 imelipwa.
50 imelipwa na 50 nyingine italipwa Julai ya mwaka ujao.
Julai ya mwaka ujao, na 50 ya 21 mpaka 17 mpaka 21 pia nayo italipwa Julai ya mwaka ujao. Hizo ni mbili. Hizo ni mbili. Na ndiposa ukiwa ulimsikiza vizuri Wesonga, alikuwa anasema yeye anataka tulipwe hivi sasa. Tulipwe hivi sasa. Hii 100% tulipwe hivi sasa, kwa sababu
mwaka hiyo academic financial year inayokuja, kuna haya mambo mawili ambayo yanaweza kuleta changamoto, kunaweza kuleta changamoto katika budget ya Wizara ya Elimu. Kwa sababu kutakuwa na 50% ilipwe na asilimia nyingine 50 ilipwe ya ile 7.9 billion, ushaona, na asilimia
kuna nyingine hapo ya mazungumzo ya 25 na 29.
Hayo pia itabidi kuwa na makubaliano ya jinsi ya kulipa.
That's a question.
Swali, yani unajua nikiangalia kuanzia mwaka 2017 mpaka 21 hivi vitu havikutekelezwa mpaka tumefika mpaka sasa. Ndio sasa tunapigana kuhakikisha kwamba vinatekelezwa tena kwa fujo, inatekelezwa kwa muda mfupi. Swali langu ni tukifika kwenye huo mwaka kesho ambao kuna 50 inahitajika na 50 ambao kwamba ilisemekana italipwa ya 21 mpaka 25, hatutarudi tena hapa tuje tuanze tena kwamba hii imechelewa, tulipe hii kidogo halafu tusongeshe hii mbele.
Katika fikra ya Wizara ya Elimu, wanaeleza kuwa sababu ya wao kushindwa kulipa ni kwa sababu wameshindwa kujua kwa mapema ni kiwango gani kinahitajika. Ushaona? Kwa sababu tulikuwa tunashindwa kujua kwa mapema ni kiwango gani kinahitajika. Sasa lakini kwa sababu sasa watajua, then wao watajipanga katika manake zile sector budgets. Ushaona, walitoa hiyo, watajipanga katika sector budget yao kwa katika Wizara ya Elimu tuna hii malipo haya na malipo haya na malipo haya, na kwa sababu Wizara ya Fedha ilikuwa pale, ushaona, na wakasema sisi tuko tayari kulipa walimu bila matatizo yoyote. Kwa hivyo watajua wao kuwa kuna malipo haya na malipo haya na malipo haya, hiyo watakubaliana mapema. Kama alivyosema, lazima tujue mapema ili wajipange. Tatizo moja ambalo alilieleza waziri wa elimu ni kwa nini tunapata hizi changamoto. Ni kwa sababu kulingana na maelezo yake ni kwa sababu mara nyingi hizi CBA makubaliano haya yanafanywa mwisho wa ule muhula. Naelewa, haya makubaliano yanafanywa mwisho, manake yanasukuma mpaka mwisho wa muhula. Kwa mfano 2017 2021 makubaliano yanafanywa mwisho wa muhula, badala yafanywe 2017 yanafanywa 2021.
Ndio joto linapanda.
Sasa ndio joto linapanda sasa, alafu arrears zinakuwa nyingi. Unaona, serikali inasema sasa pesa hizi tutatoa wapi sisi? Ushaona. Lakini hivi sasa kwa mfano kama hii 2025 2029 kama watakubaliana kwa mfano katika siku 30 zijazo, basi utakuwa ile
unajua hela ni ngapi,
unajua ni ngapi. Kwa hivyo unajipanga kila mwaka, unajipanga.
Prof, what should both sides prioritize in the 2025-2029 CBA?
The first is again improved salaries. That is very important. And then there are other benefits that other public workers get which universities do not get. For example, there are issues to do with car loans, mortgage loans. University workers do not enjoy these, while other public officers enjoy this. You know, so those are issues that they are going to be considered. Health insurance. Most universities workers do not have health insurance. You know.
What do you mean?
They do not have a health insurance.
Okay.
Yeah. No, they don't have.
Sasa hizi ni vitu gani?
What do you mean they do not have health insurance?
What are you people saying?
You ask the university workers.
You now that's non-teaching.
All.
Hata wewe.
Like right now, if I fall sick here, I have to pay my own bills. Because our which is all negotiated, you know. The health insurance component is part of the negotiation. So like right now, in my university, we don't have a cover for the last like 3 months.
What nizi ni gani kwa
for the last 3 months?
For the last 3 months, because before then we had.
Okay.
But of course, sometimes some universities are unique. Other universities, they don't have health insurance. They have to go to the hospital, they pay, and then the university refunds.
So other universities provide for their staff?
Others they plan and provide for their staff.
Yeah.
Others don't.
Should it be a similar situation with the what do you call it? We have, is it The teachers.
The teachers.
Like the teachers. Yeah, the teachers they have. They have.
Wako
they
nayo
have
wenye
they
iko
have
discussed na inalipwa hata walikataa itolewe, sijui pesa itolewe kwa shirika fulani, don't want to mention it, ile iwekwe kwa SHA.
So that kind of insurance is what
hamna
right now. Like in my university we don't have.
Okay,
and it is because of these issues of negotiations. You know, like in my university we have, but because of these issues of negotiations we do not have the cover right now. There are other universities which don't have at all. Like they have to go to the hospital, they pay, and then they get refunded by the university. So that's the challenge that universities have.
That's huge. In your opinion, Prof, what steps could end the cycle of strikes once and for all? Because I mean, it cannot be over and over again.
I think timely negotiations is very important.
Okay,
it's very important. And also people have to understand the worth of people in the universities. There is some kind of feeling in the universities that the government doesn't really honor their skills. It doesn't honor their knowledge. It doesn't feel that they are very important workers in the republic. So there is a need to change that attitude.
Do you feel that way?
At a personal level, no. But because I'm a proud person, you know, like I know my worth. You know, I know my skills and I know my competitiveness.
Do you feel like we've got into a space where we disregard the role of our lecturers?
To a large extent, I think they are neglected. I think they're not given the space to work comfortably. You know, if you go to the universities, you'll be surprised that there are some lecturers who don't have even offices. You know, they don't have offices. It's a very big embarrassment. You know, if you go to the university, you find that lecture rooms are completely dilapidated. You know, it's not comparable to international standards of a university lecture hall. You know, so these are issues that when they say the conditions of service, you know, the places that we people work, they have to be comparable. You have a better office here. You know, if you compare to you have how many computers? You have 1, 2, 3. Maybe 4.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You have a lot all over the room. You know, but you can go to a lecturer's office and you don't find this kind of standards. You know, and this is not luxury. This is, you know, the standard equipment that you're supposed to have in your office, and you don't find in universities. So there is a challenge in terms of funding universities and keeping universities at a comparable level. You know, I've been to universities in this country, outside this country, and I see the levels at which other universities are. And if you come home, then you start feeling like, no, there is something wrong with us. There is something wrong with us. People have advanced, you know, in terms of providing facilities for a lecture room. You know,
unafikiri hiyo because hizi university ambazo tunazungumzia to base tu kwenye university za serikali which wewe unazijua na zimekweko nyingi zimekweko unazifahamu tusitaje hata kwa majina ni kwamba kwa hiki kipindi chote ni kwamba wanapuuza au hawataki tena kuzalisha quality au tatizo ni nini kuboresha hiyo miundo msingi na kila kitu?
Unajua
21st century na bado
unajua tatizo ni serikali kila saa inalalamika haina pesa. Haswa ikija kwa masuala ya
elimu,
wizara ya elimu. Kila siku serikali inalalamika hatuna pesa. Unaona? Sasa ni kuuliza, je, kweli serikali ina nia nzuri na kuelimisha wananchi wake, ama inafikiria si jukumu lake kutoa manake kusaidia wizara ya elimu kuweza kutekeleza majukumu yake vile inavyotakikana? Kwa sababu kila saa utakuta zile sekta muhimu kabisa zinakumbwa na changamoto. Elimu, afya. Utakuta mara nyingi hapa ndipo kunapotokea changamoto. Na kwa sababu serikali inahitajika kuwekeza kiwango kikubwa sana cha fedha katika sekta hizi mbili, na serikali saa nyingine haiko tayari, inalalamika tu kuwa hatuna pesa. Katika bunge juzi ulimsikia CS wa Treasury, yeye alikuwa anasema tu hatuna pesa bwana, hatuna pesa. Serikali haina pesa, hatuwezi kulipa hii kwa pamoja, hatuwezi. Unaelewa? So akisema hivyo utamwambia nini tena?
Hauna
la kumwambia kwa sababu anasema hana
pesa.
pesa. Ushaona?
Lakini watazunguka huko.
Unaelewa? So kuna haja kubwa kabisa ya serikali pengine kubadilisha mtazamo wake wa elimu na jinsi ya elimu na afya, na jinsi gani ya kufund hizi sekta mbili muhimu sana.
Yes. All right. So Prof, I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Yeah.
One word to describe Kenya's higher education system right now.
Yeah. You know, people don't understand this, but Kenyan higher education system is very competitive. You know, they have qualified staff. You know, it's just the infrastructure that is a challenge. You know, but in terms of staff, the competitiveness of its staff is world class.
So your one word to describe Kenya's higher education system right now is that it's competitive.
Highly competitive.
All right. Yeah. What keeps you hopeful about the future of our universities?
I think the future is that we need to love our country. We need to know that our country can provide, and we need to encourage one another, that not all is lost. Like if we put in a lot of effort, then we're on the right track.
Yes.
But everybody has to play their role accordingly.
Yeah.
You know, without undermining another.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were the education CS for a day,
yeah,
what would you fix first?
First, I'll fix. I'll deal with the issues of staff.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll make sure that the staff in our education sector are comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Sio mazingira ya kufanyia kazi.
First, deal with the staff, and then the environment, the environment in which they work.
All right.
But you know, with a highly motivated staff, they can even change the environment themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a highly motivated staff, they can change the environment.
Change the environment themselves. That one. Hiyo ni nzuri.
Nzuri. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prof, for making time today. Yes, we've been speaking to Professor Hassan, and of course Hassan Mwakimako, about the just ended lecturer strike, a strike that has reminded us the deep structural challenges within Kenya's higher education sector. So in a bit, we're going to look at epilepsy, because it is November, is the Epilepsy Awareness Month. What do you need to know about it? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Good morning.